Greetings, Ian from RTO here. Welcome to the start of another week. And we're going to kick off this week with part 5 of the David Crosby story. Now today we're going to look at a little chunk of his career and a band he was involved in called C.P.R. Now C.P.R. stood for Crosby, P.R. and Raymond. Now, Jeff P.R. is a session guitarist that David had worked with, and James Raymond is actually David's son, who's a keyboardist. So they made a couple of albums. They're very good. The thing with David, you know what you're getting with him. So they're very good albums. When you got the two, it's just which one's better. And I mean, they're both as good as each other. So we'll have a quick look at these albums. So coming in number 2 is the debut album from C.P.R. and it's called C.P.R. It came after 4 years after David Crosby received a life-saving liver transplant. So it was his first sort of album for a little while, and this is more of a jazzy influenced rock than a country, but it still showcased stunning harmonies. So you got David Crosby doing the lead vocals, acoustic guitar, string guitar, Jeff P.R. vocals, electric guitar, slide guitar, fretless bass, ebow and mandolin. James Raymond vocals, piano, electric piano, acoustic piano, drum program, and the bass on here is the legendary Leland Sakar. Also James Hutchinson plays the fretless bass. Russ Kunkel and Steve DeSanto do the drums, along with Kurt Busker. There's Steve Tagavaloni on soprano saxophone. So the first track is called Morrison. Now the beginning of this actually reminds me of the theme tune to the TV show Hill Street Blues. It's got that 70s feel to it, so I think this is a pretty good track. I like that one. That house, as I've said, doesn't matter who David works with, there's always fabulous harmonies. Some nice guitar work on this solid track as well. Then we get One for Every Moment. It's okay, it's probably one of the weaker tracks on this album. And then we get At the Edge. Sounds solid to me. It's got some it's a lovely track put together. It's got some nice harmonies again. You guaranteed a lovely harmony vocal on this. Very good. Then we get my favourite track on this album, and it's called Somebody Else's Town. The beat's just good. You can tap your feet to it. It's a really upbeat sort of track. Excellent track. Then we get another good track called Rusty in Blue. It's probably my second favourite track on here. It's got the singing on it's terrific, the guitar work, the whole thing put together. It's really another upbeat track. Somehow She Knew. This one's alright. It's a little bit too long. A couple of minutes shorter. I think this would have been perfect, but the majority of the song is pretty good. Little Blind Fish, interesting. Like the guitar and the drums, I saw it's a little bit different, but it certainly worked. Then we get Yesterday's Child, good track here. Again, lovely song, nice lyrics, really well put together. It's all coming back to me now. Now I love the start of this. It's a raunchy sort of guitar riff, probably one of the raunchier tracks on the album. It's a bit more country rock, and it's really good. Time is the Final Currency is the last track. It's okay, bit of a filler track. Goes on a tad too long, 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes. but it's listenable. There's nothing wrong with it. Technically, it's just a bit long. Okay, really good album. Lots of tracks on here, very simple. Some, it's a pleasant listen. You know what you're getting when you've got anything that had David Crosby written on it. You know what you was getting. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. So the number one out of the two is their second album that they released in 2002. So many people on it. A lot of people that played on the first album as well. And it's called Just Like Gravity. Now the first track is Map to Buried Treasure. Now this is my favourite track. It's one of my favourite tracks again. I think it was in my top 10 when I did my tribute to David. I just love this. It's got lots of texture, some great singing, great guitar. It's just a fantastic track. Then we get Breathless, another good track. The harmonies are there, the little bits of intricate guitars there. Just what you need from David Crosby. Darkness, a nice guitar track, great vocal from David, a sweet voice of his, excellent track. Gone Forever, the drumming and the guitar work in this is really good. It's that real great drum beat. The track come together well. It's a solid track. Eyes Too Blue comes next. This starts off with some nice gentle piano and David singing. And you think, oh, this is going to be nice. And I thought, when it was 5 minutes in, I go, oh, this is going to be too long. But then all of a sudden, bang, guitars, banjos, and everything else. And a lovely harmonised vocal on that. Jerusalem. A nice little air traffic control bit at the beginning. Great little rocker. Nothing wrong with that one. Solid track. Kings Get Broken. Good vocal from David as ever. James and James's keyboards are nice, and then you get that lovely backing vocals from Jeff and James as well. Excellent track. Like that one a lot. Angel's Dream. Now this is quite a long track, but it does work because it's got a nice flow to it. It's great singing again. Katie Did. Love this track. It's like a country rock song. Great guitar solo in this one. Climber, a little bit too long. 6 minutes 17. It sort of loses its way a little bit, but it's sort of in the middle, then it comes back in. Then we got Coyote King. I love this. It's got the percussion's good. It got bongos, some great guitar work. Pretty awesome track. And the last track is the title track called Just Like Gravity. And good track. Bit different from what you usually get from David Crosby. It's got that jazzy feel to it. I think that's his son's influence. Some nice guitar work in it as well. Really a good track. Yeah, I love this album because it's a variation. Different layers, textures, different sort of sounds, bit jazzy in places. So it's a pretty good album. And I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, next week is the last part of the David Crosby story, and we're going to look at his solo albums. Yes, he made solo albums as well. Terrific artist, David Crosby, hard working. Even with his health problems, he still managed to turn out, I think, 8 solo albums with all the other stuff. So that's coming up next week. But we've still got a classic album today, and this week we're going to look at a singer, although he was not commercially not successful because he was, but under the radar. This is someone that was under the radar, but he influenced so many people, and that was Tom Waits. We'll look at his album Small Change. Okay, I will see you a bit later. Bye for now.